Hi, I'm Steve Rajeff and you're watching Simplified with Stillwater Fly Shop. If you're just getting started with spey fishing for salmon or steelhead, a very popular size to begin with is a 13-foot rod length and a size 8. And some of these spey rods are described as 7/8 or 8/9 or 9/10. They're often double line designated. So I'd recommend a 13-footer 8/9. That's your best all-purpose spey rod. Hi, I'm Steve Rajeff and you're watching Simplified with Stillwater Fly Shop. Talking about rod rating in spey, rods are often rated by a number like 8/9 or 7/8, but then there's an associated weight of line and it's usually in grains. Most rod companies rate them with a certain amount of grain weight, so follow the rod company's recommendation. And it may range for each caster, a little bit more, a little bit less, but like an 8/9 spey rod would probably balance out with 550 grains, but different rods a little bit more or less. Don't be afraid of the grains, it's just a different way of rating the line. Hi, I'm Steve Rajeff and you're watching Simplified with Stillwater Fly Shop. Modern spey casting lines are much more simple than the original lines to cast. Historically, they were one big fat line that just stayed fat the whole way, and you had to aerialize and cast that whole big fat line called grease line or traditional. But the new modern lines are much shorter, typically about 3 times the rod length, and that's where all the weight is at 35 feet or so. 3 times your rod length altogether. And so we use tapers. One is called the Scandi taper. It's just a weight forward triangulated line about 3 times your rod length, and that's usually all floating. Great line for the summer. If you're wintertime fishing or anytime you want to hug the bottom with a sink tip, the line that's real popular is called the Skagit line. It uses a sinking tip typically, and then a belly that's all floating and still about 3 times your rod length, the entire line. So if you're getting into spey casting and spey fishing, remember the Scandi taper and the Skagit taper and you're all covered. Hi, I'm Steve Rajeff and you're watching Simplified with Stillwater Fly Shop. The popular lines for steelhead spey fishing is using what we call the Scandi taper. It's an abbreviation of Scandinavian taper, where this type of line was popularized. It's a short shooting head line, approximately 2.5 to 3 times the rod length, and it's typically floating. It's a wonderful line for near surface or dry fly fishing for steelhead. It lifts up and casts to change of direction effortlessly. If you're going to be surface fishing, near the surface, dry fly, check out the Scandi taper. That's what it was made for. You'll love it. Hi, I'm Steve Rajeff and you're watching Simplified with Stillwater Fly Shop. Anytime you're fishing deep and want to hug the bottom, the way to go is to use a sinking tip. And the line that's designed to carry and cast a sink tip really well is called the Skagit taper, developed on the Skagit River in Washington for wintertime steelhead. They use big weighted flies and they're trying to get it down deep. And the belly of the line is very short and heavy, and it helps to turn over the sink tip and big fly. So if you're trying to go deep, get a Skagit taper.